Good morning. Happy Friday. Today is, I need my coffee mug. Oh, there we go. What would coffee and a card be without the coffee mug? Sporting my daisies today. Today is, as I started to say, today is September 4th, 2025. And this series is Coffee and a Card. I come by 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern time on Friday mornings. And we share a sip of coffee or your favorite beverage, and I show you a card that might inspire you for some weekend stamping. So welcome. If you are joining the live, that's fine. I appreciate that. We love the interaction. Please sign in and say hello and be involved in the conversation. Tell us your thoughts. Tell us what you like. Give me some hearts or thumbs up. That really helps the algorithms for my pages. And I really appreciate that. If you are watching the replay, I appreciate that too. Maybe some of you who are watching live will go back and watch the replay if you need some further instruction on making the card. So, like I said, sign in, say hello. Good morning, Susan. She's coming from Florida. AC is fixed. Oh, good. Oh, I was thinking about you, Susan. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're having a warm day today. It's going to be in the upper 80s, which is really strange because we've had more fall type weather lately. And you kind of get your mindset like, okay, school started, it's fall, maybe not in Florida, it's different, but here in the Northeast, or at least a little more north, it definitely turns cooler and the trees change and all that. And you definitely get that mindset of fall. You want to maybe start getting out wear my blue jeans again and sweaters and whatever. And then all of a sudden, bam, it's 88 degrees. Like, oh, crazy, right? So anyway, welcome everybody. Coffee and a card today. And sip more of my coffee. I hope you have something to sip yourself while you're watching. All right, today, here we go. We are doing a card that I've done before. I've done it a long time ago, haven't done it in a while. Like I said, it's always good to go back and revisit former cards and designs and former fun folds and then do them with new products. It kind of brings new life, right? So, it's all good. So I went back to one of my favorite cards, both for the fold and also for the paper that I loved at the time. So they happen to be fall, but these cards obviously could go for any season, depending on your designer paper, right? Okay, so let me switch my view here. And get my desktop going. Great. Hello, hello. You missing fall colors. Oh, I know, Susan. Well, come up and visit. Come up and visit. You know I have a retreat coming up. Today is last day for regular registration for my fall retreat. It's World Card Making Day. Let me switch this back. I'm talking to you for 1 second. World Card Making Day is October 4th. And we are doing a full day retreat here in the Baltimore area. And it will be a theme of gratitude and giving. Okay, we should keep these things in mind all the time. But this time of year, our thoughts turn more toward that with Thanksgiving and so forth. So why not capitalize on doing that and reaching out? So in addition to regular retreat things where I give you some projects to do, we will be doing some projects to support some local community organizations. Okay. And I always do cards for troops as well. So we send troops blank cards, greeting cards, birthday, thinking of you, miss you, those kind of things. And then they can fill them out and send them out to people back home. So we do cards for troops. At the retreat, we're also going to be doing some cards for some senior assisted living homes. There's a children's home in my town that we will do some Christmas cards for, little projects. And there is also Catonsville Emergency Assistance Organization who provides food and other services to people in need. So we will do a collection of some non-perishable goods. People who want to donate can bring those to the retreat, but we'll also be doing some cards and some other projects to support that as well. So yeah, and just being thankful for all the things that we have, things that we can do, things that we are fortunate to be able to experience or to have, like each other, stamping with each other. So we appreciate all that and definitely give thanks. And I hope if you're interested, you will consider coming to the fall retreat again, October 4th, 2025. And today will be the last day of regular registration. You can hop on over to my blog at stampwithlorraine.com. I'll put that up on my banner. Here we go. Easy. I'm Lorraine. You're stamping with me. Stampwithlorraine.com. Couldn't be easier, right? Okay, so now I will switch over and we'll get our cards started. So good morning, Nadine. Nice to see you here today. Okay, I'm going to take the banner off so you can see my desktop even better. All right. How many people have either ordered or have their wish list ready with the new catalog? Okay, a lot of neat things in the September-December 2025 mini catalog started yesterday, and we've seen a lot of people ordering so far. Some really neat things for fall, winter. If you've ordered something from there, tell me what you ordered. Tell me what you ordered or what's on your wish list so far. One of the things that I was fortunate to get even earlier than a month ahead. As a demonstrator, we get to order things a month ahead of time. But a couple months ago, there was an online virtual event called Creativity Now, where demonstrators could get together. And if we wanted to, we could order this bundle and craft along. So that's what I did. So I was able to get this a couple months early, even earlier than the regular demonstrators who did not order the kit. So it's Peaceful Garden is a designer paper, and usually the suites are named after that. The bundle, stamp set and dies, are called Peace on Earth. Obviously, peace is the theme. You have some doves, you have some olive branches, and I just love that theme. So, and I love blues. So this is perfect, absolutely perfect. It comes. The suite includes, I shouldn't say comes with, but yeah, included in the suite are this beautiful ribbon and Misty Moonlight. It's silver edged ribbon, has these teeny tiny loops on the end there that just give it just that little bit of sparkle. Ties in with the blues in the paper, and it's just gorgeous. Love it. And also, of course, you'll have some embellishments. Where did I put those? Well, they're very pretty, trust me. Oh, here they are. Of course. So they are hues of blue flowers is what they call them. They could be stars-like things if you want. At first I was thinking, oh, snowflakes, but no, they're 5 petals there, so snowflakes always have 6 points, right? But anyway, it can give you the illusion if you want. But anyway, very pretty, and the cloud cover, Misty Moonlight, and Secret Sea in those hues of blue, obviously. So lovely, lovely, lovely. There's also another stamp set that Stampin' Up! In the catalog kind of pairs with the scrapbooking materials that tie in with this paper as well, but it doesn't have to be just used for scrapbooking. But I do not have that other set. I just have this one right now. So the card we're going to be doing today is going to feature this paper. I took out this design for now, but we can try another one while we're together today, see how that works. Let me show you, if you haven't seen this paper already, I'll show you some of the designs. This one is really pretty. I love that one too. I could have used that as well, but we'll see. Maybe we'll have time. Okay, the back of that is these beautiful doves, which could be featured on a card. That's what I did on my Whip It Up Wednesday. So if you haven't seen that video, go back, and the link is on my Facebook page, but the video is actually in YouTube. So you can go back and look at that. Oh, this is one of my favorites also. Love this one. So pretty with all those blues. The color palettes are, I have the card stacks here. Basic beige, cloud cover, crumb cake, misty moonlight, pecan pie, and secret sea. Nice kind of natural, earthy kind of tones, right? So very, very pretty. Of course, white ties in a lot with that too. So the basic beige usually wouldn't go with all these that are white, but they're the ones, it does go nicely with the brown tones. So some of these papers, like this one has a mixture of white and beige in it, so that could be used with either. And whereas what? Oh, this is a pretty one too with the stars, right? And let me pick out the one that does have more. There we go. Okay, more of the crumb cake and the beige mixed in there as well. The pecan pie comes in on some of these branches. You see that right there, those little swirls, or on the branches of the flowers. So minimal pecan pie here, but just enough to give it some highlight. All right, so let's get going on our projects today. If you saw this before, well, welcome back to this design. It's called a crossover gatefold. Okay, gatefold means it's going to open in the middle like a gate does this way. Okay, the crossover part comes from these panels that are longer than the actual gate, and it's going to cross over to the other side. And notice how they sort of interlock here. All right, you have to kind of close them both at the same time so that you don't do it this way and then this way. Although I guess you could put another piece of designer paper there, make a square, and obviously not have your sentiment, but that could be an option. But what's kind of cool is when this is closed, it kind of stays together a little bit better. And it looks like one card, but then people are amazed. Oh, look how that opened. So I used to love this. I still do. This designer paper from several years ago. Something Beauty, black. I think it had the blackberry color in there, and gold and all the rustic colors. Really, really nice. So that's what we're making today. Simple. So we are going to, I kind of started with my designer paper because then I'm going to see what colors I want to mix and match with this. Also, another thing that is part of this suite is, how can I forget? It's blitzing here right in my eyes. Is this glimmer paper. Look at these. Whoa, so shiny. It's called Peaceful Garden glimmer paper. Okay, again, tying in with a suite. And they don't call these colors by any particular Stampin' Up color. It's just blue, dark gray, which to me has a bluish tint to it. I might not see it on the camera, but in person, it looks almost secret sea-like to me. And they call this soft green. All right, it's when I look at it, with glimmery, with the way the light hits it, it could be a lot of different shades. I see obviously some silvery colors, mostly a little yellowish. I don't know, but and that yellow with the glimmer makes you think a little bit of gold, but it's definitely more of a silver. They call it soft green. I have to look hard to think green on it, so it's that's soft. That's Okay, Susan has her order in progress, and Nadine already did hers. She was one of my first orders on yesterday. Congratulations. Alrighty, so those are the colors we're going to use for the background here. Now for these pieces, you're going to want cardstock, or in this case, this was foil, and I'm going to use that glimmer paper because it's stiff. You don't want another layer of designer paper for this part because you need it to be supportive. And as you know, designer paper is much thinner. It would just, be too floppy. But so we're going to use that. I'll just put this aside for now. It won't be a distraction. I'll show you some other designs later of that same card that I did years ago. And let's see. Now I'm thinking of which of these I might want to use behind this design that I picked out. So this is definitely the more the Misty Moonlight background. So even though that says soft green, see, when I put the blue against it, now it's coming out a little bit more greenish color, which could be nice if I had some other kind of light greens in my project, but that one's not going to work for this one. And then I think this is just too blue against that, so we're not going to use that. So we're down to the dark gray, which, like I said, looks like Secret Sea or Misty Moonlight. So that's just enough to give it a nice little sparkle. So I'm going to glue those together. Now, because the glimmer paper has texture, you want to make sure you have plenty of glue holding this down. Come on. That little nubby stuff gets stuck and glue doesn't come out, right? All right. Oh, come on. Do I need another glue? I might. Oh, hold on. Let me just get another new one so I don't have to keep shaking and shaking. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. This is one thing that I do. I have a drawer full of glue, a little IKEA drawer, whatever. And as you know, it has these little seals that hold them closed. And sometimes when I have a class, I end up having some that are half used. And I only keep one or two on my desk for my regular use. So I throw the other ones that are maybe half used into the drawer. And then sometimes, like when I'm reaching for one, I want to maybe pick one that was already started, or maybe I want to start a brand new one, bring a brand new one with me. And it might be a little hard to see, oh, wait, is this one used or not? So what I do is I put a little piece of washi tape on this seal. And that way I can see, all right, yeah, that's a brand new one. So whether that's the one I want or I don't want, I can find it quickly amongst all its other little brothers that are laying in the drawer. All right, so here we go. Let me know if you've ever done this crossover gatefold before. Nadine, I know you have. Nadine's been stamping with me for 22. Oh no, 20. I'm a demonstrator for 22 years, so 24, maybe 25 years now, Nadine. Must be, right? Many uses of washi tape, absolutely. Okay, I'm going a little heavier on the glue there to make sure it grabs that textured paper. So that just gives this otherwise very subtle paper a little glimmer, a little glam. Okay. All right, now we can choose our base out of the colors here. Let's see what we like. Okay, I'm sure, you could do elimination. Although that could be kind of cool. I'm going to eliminate the pecan pie. Pecan pie. How do you say it? Pecan or pecan? Okay, that could look good in a certain situation, but I don't want it for this card. Okay, we have the Misty Moonlight. We have the Secret Sea. Again, this could look really pretty in some cases, and it can look nice on the crumb cake as well. So, yeah, I'm not sure. What do you think, you guys? I think I have two favorites. Give me your vote. What do you think? I know the colors might be different on the computer. And when I look at my screen over here and I'm saying, yes, one of them really stands out as like no go. But in person, it really doesn't look bad. So what do you think? You've done this, definitely over 20 years. I'm a demonstrator for 22 years, Nadine. Going on 23 in January. So yeah, we have to be stamping at least a year or two before that, right? Okay, what do you think? You like the Misty Moonlight, Nadine? All right, that's Misty Moonlight. That's one vote. What else do you think? Let me do one at a time here. Misty Moonlight. Basic Beige. Cloud Cover. And Secret Sea. Any other votes? Come on, you guys. Or tell me to eliminate one. If you don't want to commit, tell me to, no, take out this one. Blah, blah, blah. What do you think? Susan likes the cloud cover. All right, so we have one for cloud cover, one for Misty Moonlight. Anybody else? Go once, go twice. Cloud cover is also pretty. All right, let's go with cloud cover. All right, that's 2 votes. Thank you, Susan and Nadine, for your participation. It's going to look beautiful. Now, on my screen, the Misty Moonlight does not look like a great match, but it just could be, the color on my screen. In person, it looks pretty. I like that one too, and I do like the beige. So I don't know, but cloud cover's gorgeous too. So here we go. Ready or not? Here we go. We want to cut this one vertically. So we want to have 4 1/4 by 11. And do not score it in half because it's a trifold. It's a gatefold. We are going to score it. I'm going to open this up. We are going to score it at 2 3/4 and 8 1/4. Now, here's something to think about. That's where the score line will be, 8 1/4. But sometimes when you're measuring on your trimmer, score, whatever you're using, sometimes you could end up measuring slightly off because sometimes we go right on the line. Sometimes we go slightly before the line, or maybe it might be slightly over the line, and that can throw you off a 16th or a 32nd of an inch. And sometimes when you are doing this gatefold, you want those 2 pieces to really meet cleanly in the middle. And if you are slightly off, you might see a gap or it might overlap just a little bit. If it overlaps, you can certainly trim off an end, but if there's a gap, that's not great. So this is one option. Score just one side and then just fold the other by hand, because then you can measure it up exactly against that other piece. Let me put a piece of paper in here so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, so we are going to just bring this over, have it match. If there's a gap, you don't want that to show. So I'm going to just bring it right up to there, make sure it meets flush, and then I will take my bone folder and fold that down. All right, let's see, no gap and no overlap. Okay, so that's what we want. Of course, we will want a piece of white for the inside. So I'm going to put that down now. And of course, you can stamp something inside there if you like. Where's the good glue? Oh, there's the one that is partially empty. This is the good one. So this is your standard size in the middle. So 5 1/4 by 4. All right. Well, thanks, Betty. Good morning. Hello, Joan. Nice to see you. Okay. I'll put that in there like that. Okay, so these strips, I cut them, but I never told you the sizes, did I? These are 5 1/4. The glimmer paper, the first layer is 5 1/4 by 2. And then the other DSP layer is 5 inches by 1 3/4. So when we put them on our actual gates, the fold of the gates, we're going to leave a little bit of a margin on each side and the top, and then we want that little bit of a similar gap in between here. But when we glue them down, obviously, we're not going to put glue across the whole thing because then your card will be shut, and what good is that? So we are going to put glue only on one side of the top and the opposite side of the bottom. Now, this card can open or close either way. You can have, it doesn't matter which side you glue down. Maybe you have a preference. Like I said, sometimes I overthink things and I say, don't. I have to slap myself in, say, stop overthinking. So we could glue down the top to the left and the bottom to the right, and it would open like this. And maybe if you want it the opposite way, that's okay. Glue it down to the top right and the bottom left, and it would open like this. So I've done some both ways. You could say, well, people might open it from the bottom and the bottom goes left to right and the top just kind of follows along. Or you might say, oh, some people open from the top. It really doesn't matter. Okay, if it matters to you, I'm just pointing it out so that you can think about it and be cognizant of how you're going to do that. Now, here's my other little tip when doing something like this that's a little hard to see where you're going to glue. Obviously, I don't want to put glue on here all the way over here because I want to make sure I leave that gap. So I'm going to, obviously, we usually glue down the, put down the piece that we want to adhere. And I know I'm going to keep it less than this 2 3/4 inches. So I'm going to go about like that. But I'm going to put just a little glue over here. I know I'm not going to go way to the top, but I'm going to put it, let me get my silicone craft sheet so that you can see this better. I know I want this part glued down here. So I'm going to put my glue here. So I don't have to worry that I went too far and now it's hanging over. I'm just going to put a little glue there and just make sure it's less than the width. Okay, so I have it here and I have it here. So I am going to center this. I'll take that out now so I can make sure it's centered. That does look so elegant. This could look good in white also. You could use white, but I would use the thick white. And if it's for my card base, because there is the white and the flowers there, that could be a nice highlight. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing, but on the opposite side. So I'm going to make sure my pattern, if you have an up and down pattern, a vertical or horizontal pattern, make sure it's in the right orientation. I'll put some on the edge of this, going not too far down, and I'll put it on the edge of this. And now, put that there. There's a little bitty gap in between there, enough to separate the look of the two panels. And then we have our crossover gate. All right. So keep them coming. Okay, Betty. Thank you. Well, you keep coming. I'll keep the tips coming. How's that? Is that a deal? Oh, thank you so much. All right, now we get to decorate. And like I showed you, we have this beautiful, the Peace on Earth has all sentiments on it. And anything from sympathy, prayers, peace, love, hugs, friends. You can use it for a lot of things. I'm going to add some doves to the top here. So I'd like to, when I'm cutting things out, I like to just do a bunch at once. If I'm going to run through that embossing machine, I may as well put whatever fits on there, right? So I have that dove and that dove. So while I'm cranking, I may as well do a couple other things, and I could leave them in my in the envelope there, right? All right, I'm going to do one of these labels also, because I might be using that on there. I'm going to show you another trick. Stay tuned, Betty. Stay tuned. There's another tip coming. Let's see. See, it's like putting a puzzle together. I'm definitely like the logistics organizer type person. I like to see, okay, what is most efficient? All right, so I think that's going to work. I will put that on my plates. Number 1. Number 2. Okay, I really should clean this. That hand sanitizer trick works well, right? Here's another tip for you. I need the clear plate. Number 3. We'll use this one. It's a little flatter. I keep a little hand sanitizer here and just a soft cloth, and I clean my blocks. Anything that sometimes gets those little stickies on it, it takes it right off. All right, so I'm going to put these on here like this. I'm going to put it on an angle because it fits better. That is a little tight, but it works. It's going to work. And we put number 3 on top again. I'll bring my machine up here. Now, you don't see it all on the camera, but that's okay. You've seen this before. Crank that through. Like I said, why waste a crank if you can get more die cuts out of them? Okay, so now I have a label, a dove. The other dove is in there. You might take your pick tool, pop that out. I have a sprig. Oops. Now this sprig is pretty delicate. You might want to consider using adhesive sheets sometimes on that. But those leaves are big enough to accept a little dot of glue, so it's not so bad. Okay, so there we go. Let's make sure we get everything back in its place. You do not want to lose dies. If you can't buy single dies. See, I already have some in here from another time, so I'll just stick them in there. Oh, also, I ran this once, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to use it as negative space. So let me just grab maybe the silver one. So maybe having that as a strip on a card will look really pretty, right? All right, so tip number 4, whatever it is now. Okay, so I think that's going to look really pretty. So that's why I saved this. And I purposely, when I was running it, I purposely had that in mind when I was cutting out the actual die. Oh, I'm going to make sure I'm putting this in a way that I could possibly use the negative. So keep thinking. Keep thinking creatively. All right, this is pretty much lost, and that's all bent, so that's all in the garbage. All right, so let's decorate this beautiful card here. I'm going to show you another trick. This will fit here, and that looks nice. I might have wanted it in the cloud cover. That might be a little stark. I don't know. But actually, since birds fly high, well, they do fly low too, but I like them high. I'm going to put my bird in the upper part here. Let's see which one I want to use. Well, if it decides which way this opens. Right, so maybe I would want it over here. I'm just thinking this side just feels a little balanced. I don't know. And it's looking that way. So I think I like that best. And we could put, I love how this is delicate and kind of matches with the pattern there. So we could have that there. It might be a little much. I don't know. Like he's flying over the tree branch. That's one option. Or we can have it down here with the sentiment. Again, I might like to balance left and right. Let's have this like that, or overlapping. But here's my trick. I want to show you ways that you can cut this down. Let's say you want it just a little bit thinner. It's possible you can put this in your trimmer and then maybe cut from this point down to that point. That's one thing that you can do with that. Do I have an extra one in here? No, not at the moment. Okay, or we can play around with the actual die. Now I've shown you this. If you wanted a shorter die, let's say, you just wanted it this short, well, then you could just line this up and run this through your cut and emboss machine, and now you have a little bit shorter label that wouldn't take up quite so much like this does. See, that just kind of looks a little overwhelming to me. So if I'm going to make it not quite as long, but I want to decide what sentiment I want to put in there too. So I could put love, or I could put the sympathy. Let me see what fits. There's a little envelope. Unfortunately, we have to make more sympathy cards than we would like. But see, that one is shorter, so I would want this to be shorter. And that way we don't lose so much of our design either. So I think I will do that. And I'm going to do that in Secret C. Of course. Okay, if this stamp goes kind of close to the edge of my block, I like to maybe just put it on diagonally so that I could see it a little bit better. And sometimes it gives me a little more balance. I'm less likely to rock it back and forth. So something you might want to try also. See how it feels. I'm going to go more to the left here, and then I will cut accordingly. All right, that's a little high, but I'm going to put some gems down there. Whether that was intended or not, we're going with the flow, right? Let's see what happens here. Let me clean this off. Oh, no, I can't. It's in my other bin over there. All right, now that that's dry a little bit, I'm going to decide how far over I want it. And because there's a little groove in here, almost like a little border, this kind of locks right in, so I know I'm in the right spot. So I'll put that back on my plate. And it's kind of locked in, so I don't really feel I need washi tape on that right now. Especially if I just hold it while it's starting, it'll be fine. Okay, so isn't that pretty? It's much smaller and it doesn't take up quite as much of the card. Now, if you have a bunch of these, this is a good way to extend other parts. Like if you wanted more of a border, let me just run this through for a minute and I'll show you what I mean. So here is the Misty Moonlight. If you wanted to, you can use that piece to create an extra border. Of course, you would need one on each side, right? So I could even cut this one again because it's small enough, if I really wanted to. But it's all scraps. But sometimes I keep a bunch of these just in a little bin next to me here. Little scraps or little labels that I could use for different things, and that's sort of like my go-to. So you can add that to add a little bit more interest. So in that goes there, and we're going to put some of those little gems on there. So let me first glue this down, and I do like this little white sprig over here, kind of coming up like it's growing over there, and maybe I'd put this more there to kind of balance out, right? What do you think? Pretty? All right, let's do it. Let's glue it all down. Okay, this definitely has to get glued down with glue. The others we can use dimensionals. And once you get your glue going, a little dab will do ya. If you're my generation, you remember that commercial. Okay. Of course, tweezers are a good option when you're holding something little like that. All right, let's put some dimensionals in the back here. I'm using up my ends. And they work real well because that little nub fits into the edge of my label. This I pulled off of another one. 2 and 2. So I just love the old designs, old favorites with the new products. There we go. And I think the bird should be up too. So these doves are just so pretty. So nice. I'm actually bird sitting this week. My neighbor has a little canary. And they went away. They'll be back later today. We get the bird sit. I used to have a bird. It was I used to call it my daughter's older brother. We had the bird first. I said, all right, we did okay with the bird for a few years. I guess we'll do all right with a kid. We had a small parrot called the sun conure. Very bright yellow, little orange and green and blues on it. About the size of a cockatiel, but chubbier. Okay, like a little more hefty, more parrot-like. A cockatiel has a different kind of beak. This is definitely more parrot-like. Okay, I think they came out so pretty. Let's get the gems on there now. go. See which ones look nice. Nicest here. There is White, Cloud Cover, Misty Moonlight, and Secret Sea. Sometimes I actually have to take them off and hold them over my project to see what I like best. My first thought is to bring in some of the cloud cover since that's what the card base is. So let me just see what that looks like. That's a possibility. My other thought is to go with the darker color, which that really looks nice too. Misty Moonlight. Oh my gosh, they all look nice. I would not do white because we have enough white here. Oh, good grief. All right, we're going with the Secret Sea. I'm going to put 3 under here in a line. And I'm going to keep 2 the little ones. Okay. Yeah, it's all new, right, Maybe everything old is new again. Right? Okay, the designs were not made to be one and done. Use them over in different ways. So there you go. What do you think? Pretty, right? Thank you for all of your help on that. Opens up this way. And, maybe I would put maybe this little sprig or even the big one on the inside as well. That could be a nice addition. One of those die cuts there. Let's see, I did say I had some extras over here, didn't I? Let's see how that works. Okay, I have it in Misty Moonlight. That looks really pretty. All right, done. You need to see it sometimes in person. I will use my tweezers this time. I have some that are regular tweezers. I have some that are the reverse tweezers. Hold them first in a way. And I could put it down. So I'm holding it like this, and I'm going to flip it over to glue it. Okay, I have the glue rather. Don't be sticky now. Here we go. Very pretty. I like it. Thank you so much for your help. And let me just show you some of the other cards. I'm going to show you some other cards that use this suite of products. And I'll also show you some other cards that I made with this design before. Lots to show you. So, Whip It Up Wednesday, I did this card, which featured that paper with the doves. Don't need a stamped image for your focal point. Just find a nice section of your designer paper that could stand alone. And then I just did like a band across. Now, I don't know if you can see it on here, but there are 2 lines that I scored above and below that band to just give it a little bit more finished look. So that's a quick way. You can see it on the inside here, probably better how it's embossed there. There are my notes. Got the behind the scenes look there. Okay, then here's the same design in the fall colors using the Gathering Together Designer Series paper. And here are some other cards that I did with the Peaceful Garden paper as well, and the doves. Okay, I made a slit here and then folded back the designer paper so that we see both sides and stamped on the card base. And here is that same concept, horizontal with the Gathering Together. So see how you can take a certain design and just change it up and you have something new. I remember last week we did these cards. Well, this little pop-up, right? A lot of people love that. And then I said, well, when you're putting down that layer, don't glue it in the middle because don't glue it permanently because you could use that piece again. So here's what I did with the extra pieces. Notice the plaid and the leaf paper. And then I took those pieces that I cut out and I added them to this card. Just overlapped them on a layer that's embossed with the exposed brick. I took this this white ribbon and I used my espresso Stamp and Blend to color it, and then added the tag and the embellishments. So easy. So focal point from leftovers. Don't you love how that when that works out well? Okay, so now here are just some other cards with the same crisscross design that I've done in the past, so you get an idea. So this is the one I showed you first. And I got to pull these out because I have them in cellophane bags. They will catch some glare. So, okay, so here's another one. And so this one I had open the other way, right? And, oh, yeah, so here you can put some designer paper on the inside too if you like. And that kind of dresses it up as well, doesn't it? All right. And these papers were all in the same collection several years ago now, 3 years ago maybe. Okay, another option, take a strip of your designer paper, put it down there. Okay, so we did the die cut. This one had the paper inside. And this one, the focal point is the design on the paper. So it doesn't have to be just a background and then you add die cuts, right? That could be the focal, but make sure you line it up so it looks like different panels of the same picture. And then just add your sentiment. So that's another take on the version. And then, of course, you could do this as a vertical card. Your measurements will have to be different, of course. So you can have the crisscross as your vertical card. So you would start out with 8.5 by 5.5, and you would score it at 2 1/8, and then just fold over the other side. You know, so it's like 2 1/8 on each side, or you could say it's 2 1/8 and 6 3/8. Okay. Anyway, remember 2 1/8, and then you can do 2 1/8 from the other side, or just fold it over, like I said. So then, of course, your cardstock crisscross pieces will have to be something different, right? But you could probably figure that out. So there's that. And then here's another one that was vertical as well. Like I said, these are old designer papers. Just to show you some ideas. All right. So there we go. And there we go. This is a little stamped image down here. Okay, these are old. I can see they're faded up at the top, but I saved them for times like this when I say, oh, let me go back and do this card again. So there you go. All of the possibilities. And I hope you like that. Try the Cris-Cross Gatefold. Check out the Peaceful Garden papers. There you go. And the whole suite of products. Oh, we didn't use any ribbon on here. Oh, here's the ribbon on this one down here. See, I made just a little bow. So yeah, I thought that was fine without, don't need too much, especially since we have the glimmer paper. I think that's enough glitz, especially for a sympathy card, right? All right. So let me see if there's any other questions or any thoughts or concerns. I'm always ready to welcome some new people to my team. We are called the Daisy Bunch, and we have a lot of fun. We share creative ideas. I help people if people want to start trying to get customers or hold some events. That's what I like to help and coach people with. Not everybody does. Most of my team are just hobby demonstrators, and you could be a hobby demonstrator as well. So there's never any pressure. from me or from Stampin' Up. You just do what you want to do. But sometimes it's nice to have a couple customers because that can offset your minimum in sales, what you have to do. And let's face it, it's fun to stamp with other people, right? Either virtually or in person. So one lady on my team, her name is Lynn. I don't see Lynn on this morning. She's sometimes on. Oh, hi, Tina. So Lynn, God bless her. She's going to be 90 years old in December. Actually, the day after my birthday. Her birthday, December 4th. Mine's the 3rd. She's going to be 90 years old, and she's going strong. She's a demonstrator on my team, like I said, and she is holding some stamp classes for some of her friends. And she's meeting new people all the time to come join her. So it's so easy to do it. I'm not dissing Lynn in any way, saying she's not capable, but I'm just saying if Lynn can do it, you can do it too. Just invite some friends and just have a good time, whether you just are stamping together, or enjoying the time together, or if people become customers, that's all good too. So anyway, so consider that joining the Daisy Bunch. The end of our Stampin' Up! Year is the end of September. And some of you might have noticed I am extremely grateful and happy to say that I have earned the incentive trip for Stampin' Up! This year. And it's a achievement that is earned by less than 1% of demonstrators worldwide. I am required to say that. I'm not boasting. Stampin' Up! Will nudge me and say, "Ooh, you have to say this." They do watch. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. I think there are like over 40,000 demonstrators worldwide, and I think a little under 400 earned it last year. So we still have a month to go, 3 more weeks to go before everybody earns it. So it's going to be fun. It's Alaskan cruise, and this is my 4th time earning the trip. So I'm very grateful, all because of you guys following me, encouraging me, us having fun together. If you're a customer, your orders help me. And if you're not a customer, that's okay too, because I just love what I do. This would not be fun if I'm just talking to my computer, to myself, right? So I love the interaction, and that's what it's all about, making connections, the friends I've made. It's just been amazing, and I thank all of you. So keep up your good work and staying engaged. Give me some thumbs up and some hearts. It helps the growth of my business and my channels. So in the meantime, have a great week, and I hope to see you again next week with a new focus on another new suite. I like to focus something for the week. So watch for Mojo Monday. I post my projects. It's not a video, but I post my projects that I do on my Facebook page. I have a private Zoom group with mostly some of my New York stampers, and then I post the projects on Facebook to inspire you, to give you some mojo for the week if you like the project. Whip It Up Wednesday is a pre-recorded video. So don't say, "Oh, I missed the live, I'm watching the replay." It's pre-recorded, and then I pop it up there. Quick, easy cards, like I showed you here, this one here. And then, of course, Wednesday morning. So I hope to see you again, and stay happy, stay healthy, and have a blessed week. Okay, bye, everybody. Thanks for joining in. Bye-bye now.